Well, what's interesting about what we do, I have been with a company called Fiberlink for 14 years, and we created a mobile device management platform called MAS 360, or Mobility as a Service 360, a cloud-based software as a service MDM platform. And IBM acquired us about 2 years ago and put us into what they call their mobile first ecosystem, which is a really interesting combination of both organic capabilities and acquisitions they've made that creates this broad spectrum of all things mobile. We're obviously the mobile device management piece, and under that umbrella is really what Gartner is calling enterprise mobility management. So it's device management, application management, content management, expense management, a FIPS compliant container to separate business from personal, and interestingly enough, even what's referred to now as mobile threat management, that's a subset of that acquisition strategy, or mobile first, by IBM. So they bought a company called Trusteer that came out of the financial services sector that did fraud detection, transactional fraud detection at the device level. And what I find really exciting about it is within 6 months of IBM acquiring both Trusteer and MAS 360, they've integrated the two technologies together so we can deliver a device-based anti-malware detection and remediation service through our MDM platform that requires nothing to be installed on the customer's network. And now you have device, smartphone, tablet, anti-malware detection and remediation, which is really exciting. People have been asking for that for years, and IBM, through their comprehensive approach, delivered on that and executed that quickly. It includes things like QRadar, which is a SEM tool, and WorkLight, which is a great app development platform, BigFix for managing fixed endpoints. So you have this broad spectrum from fixed assets in the network all the way out to mobile devices that IBM can provide a continuous monitoring spectrum, so to speak. And what's interesting, if you look at the Gartner Magic Quadrants that deal in mobility, there's about 8 of them now in different aspects of it. IBM's the only leader in all 8 of them, and in, I think, the most critical, which is managed mobility services, so the ability to go into a company, understand their environment, and help them mobilize or digitize, pick your word. There's a single leader in that Gartner Magic Quadrant, and it's IBM. So there's a lot of consolidation in the MDM space right now with acquisitions and things like that. And I get it all from a business perspective, but IBM is really the one that makes the most sense from a compelling story perspective to tell this complete end-to-end mobility management story, and the services to stitch it all together and help companies get where they need to be. With IBM, it's a global footprint. I mean, from small medium business to the largest of the Fortune 50, everybody needs to and wants to mobilize. Personally, I handle the federal government, and we have been extremely successful with this approach in the federal government. We've got over 50 federal agencies using our service, so well over 100,000 devices under management, and in a combination of both government furnished and bring your own device or personally owned devices, which is really kind of interesting and edgy stuff in the federal government. But with our approach, which is really unique in the MDM world, that we really don't touch customer data. That's typically the concern about using a software as a service or a cloud-based platform. Who's got our data? How do we get it back? What happens if you go out of business? Well, the go out of business is gone now that IBM has bought us. But the touching the data and who's got our data and how to get it back doesn't apply, because we're not infrastructure as a service, we're not platform. And the customer data goes from their back end or wherever they have it to the device, and all we are is a platform out in the cloud that helps them manage those devices from a compliance standpoint without getting in that critical path of data. And oh, by the way, why would you want to manage a mobile device from an appliance on your network? These things aren't on the network. They're out here. You want to manage them from a platform that's out there with them. And then just to add, on top of that, we've now got our FedRAMP certification at the highest level, the Joint Advisory Board level, which really makes us unique in the federal space. there's great security on these devices, both baked into the organic operating systems on an iOS device, an Android device, Windows device, and what we can layer on top from a mobile device management as well. I think, and again, security is always going to be number one, and the tools are there, and they continue to evolve. And so that's the real challenge with mobility, is how do you keep up with that pace of change? It's anathema to everything that the government has done in the past, where it's kind of okay, we're going to be secure and we're going to lock it down, and that takes a lot of time. You don't have that time in the mobile world. Operating systems change month to month, new features, new devices come out all the time, and that's where you get back to that SaaS platform. If you leverage our approach, you can keep up with that pace of change. We did 51 code elevations on our platform last year. Our customers didn't have to do anything. You don't have to patch an appliance. Think about it. If you change, if you're doing updates to the system every 2 weeks, and you've got a 3 or 4 week change control process on your network, you can do the math. You'll never catch up. Was a SaaS approach, we eliminate that from the customers. That's been very, very powerful. Certainly the scalability issues, which is another government thing. When you look at DoD and they're talking of hundreds of thousands of devices, again, you need a SaaS platform with instant-on scalability. IBM enrolled 16,000 devices in our service within 5 days of acquiring the company, and did well over 100,000 in just a couple of weeks. So speed, scalability, security, obviously. But I think the thing, to answer your question a little more directly, it's the adoption that I think the federal government struggles with. And I think it's because it changes so quickly. Everybody's concern, it's sort of like buying a TV, right? I don't want to buy a big, expensive TV because next week I realize there's more pixels and some new feature I missed out on, and people hesitate, kind of waiting for it. If you hesitate in this game, you'll never make a decision. We call it analysis paralysis. If you keep waiting for the new feature, so I encourage my customers in the federal government, take a step back, don't get sucked into this feature functionality matrix. Look at the companies, look at the platform, and invest in, make a decision to invest and partner with a company that you're convinced will help you keep up with that pace of change and scale. We, of course, think we've got the best answer for that.